Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. I just wanted to do something just fun today. No new makeup required, just using what we have. And what I'm going to do is let an app pick my eyeshadow palette, and if it's a large enough palette that it picks, because I do have some smaller eyeshadow palettes of course, I'm going to let it random number generate the shades that I use just to make this even more fun. Kind of like a palette bingo, but I'm not picking my own palette. I'm just going to let an app pick it for me. Now I would love to do this video again and have this app pick out every single makeup product that I'm going to apply on my face that day, but behind the scenes, I'm slowly working on a list here of my makeup inventory, and the only ones I've been able to add so far over here to this app are my eyeshadow palettes. There are certain categories that are larger than others, so it's taken me a little bit, but once I get that done, I would love to revisit this video idea and have it pick everything. Now, the app in question is called Tiny Decisions. Now, it's a free app, but if you want like the full thing, like with no ads, you do have to pay. I'm not personally going to do that because I don't use it enough, but that option is there for anybody who wants it. So I have all of my products picked out here, and then we're just going to spin the wheel and see what we get. Okay, so it picked out the Unearthly Cosmetics and the Heather Alston palette. So that is a more colorful palette. I think there are 12 to 15 shades in there. So I will be letting it pick out my shades. So let me grab that palette right quick and we'll go ahead and get started on picking the shades. Okay, so this is what her palette looks like. And here are the shades that I have to work with. Definitely not my comfort zone that much anymore like it used to be, but you know what? I knew there was always a chance for it to pick a colorful palette because I do have some colorful palettes in the collection, so we'll see what shades it picks for me because that's only fair to let it pick the shades for me. I will say the ads on this app are kind of annoying, so I'm having to wait for an ad right now just so I can use the little random generator, so just keep that in mind if it's an app you wanted to download. So this palette has 12 shades. Alright, number 6 is Regeneration. Number 7, so that is that shade right there, Jewel. "12", that is that shade right there, Nymph. Number 3, that is the shade Cosmology. I feel like it is picking the most colorful shades it can possibly do. That is that shade right there, Creation. Okay, I'm going to kind of roll back this sleeve a little bit because I definitely don't want these shades on this sweater. Like, look at this sweater. This is one of my most favorites. It's like it has like this material that's see-through. So let me just swatch all of these on the back of my hand right quick, and I will come back and I'll show you what they all look like on the back of my hand. Alright, here's the color story that I have right here. We have Regeneration, Jewel, Nymph, Cosmology, and Creation. Alright, I have my eyes already prepped. I used the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm, and then I went ahead and set that with like a skin tone eyeshadow. So, alright, who do I want to start with here? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Sigma E24, and I'm going to go in with the shade Regeneration. For anybody that might find me from this video, I just want to say right now I don't normally wear eyeshadow like this anymore. So I might be a bit rusty. So please be kind. Alright, I'm going to tap this shade in because this is kind of like a lime neon shade, so I'm going to tap that in. You know, one thing that I wanted to do this for is exactly for this right here. I don't touch this palette. I don't think it's a bad palette by any means. I don't mean it like that at all. I just meant that I am very much a neutral person. I just love my neutrals now more than I do anything else. I don't really stray too far away from that, so going for more colorful looks just are not for me. I love to see them on people. They're beautiful, but they're not really what I want to wear on myself. So one thing that I do love about having that app pick out a palette is, see, it picked a palette for me that I would not have picked on my own. Which, that kind of begs the question, why is the palette still in my collection? Because I feel like I know I shouldn't look at my collection that way, but sometimes I feel like I should have something more colorful. And this is a good palette. The quality on this palette is really good. I'm not sure if it's still available. I want to say the last time I looked, the full collection was available. I'm not sure if the palette was still available by itself. But I mean, of course, I'll have anything linked for you below. Yeah, I find that stamping this type of shade in works a lot better. Maybe if you had like a white eyeshadow primer or something to go underneath it, you could make it look more like, you know, but I mean, not necessary for me, but that might be beneficial to someone who wears a lot of shades like this. I'm gonna go around that with my Flawless Concealer brush from e.l.f. I'm laughing because I'm just not used to seeing this on me anymore. I cannot tell you the last time I wore something like this. Using that same brush, I'm going in with the shade Nymph. And we're going to press that out here. It's giving Powerpuff Girl. Like the green for Buttercup, pink for Blossom. And they did actually pick a blue out for me, but I have something else in mind for the blue. I'm just going to blend a little bit around that. I might have to go back in the end and add more of that Regeneration shade, that lime green. Okay, I'm going to go back in more with that shade, that Regeneration, that lime green. And I'm going to pack it right in here. Right where that pink kind of lays right in there. I'm going back in with that Nymph shade, and we're going to go over here, press that on this outer half. Okay, then same thing. I'm going to take this brush and blend. And we'll have to pick back up more of that lime green shade. I feel like it keeps wanting to blend away, even though and I mean before I go in with that Flawless Concealer brush, I just feel like it wants to kind of disappear a little bit, I guess because it's just that shade. I want to make sure you can still see that green. Now I know that Flawless Concealer brush is taking some away, but prior to that I feel like it wanted to kind of disappear a little bit. Same brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Jewel, and we're going to lightly dust that right here on this inner part. You could build that up a little bit more if you use like your finger or more of a dense brush. I just want a wash of it. I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. I'm just going to apply some mascara off camera right quick, and I'm going to be using the Tower 28 Make Waves. This is the Jet shade, which is the black. I'm just going to apply that off camera. We'll come back, and I'll do the rest of my face on camera too. I'll just do all of that. I'm just going to skip the mascara step because that usually takes me a while. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right quick, and we'll come right back and do my face. For primer, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Stay Cool Primer Stick. I can get the little cap off. There we go. I have been really loving this in the mornings. It has just felt so nice. I put it in the refrigerator for a little bit before I sit down and do my makeup, and it just feels so nice. And then I just tap it in. And for my foundation, I'm going in with the new Patrick Ta foundation. Mine's in the shade 4 Golden. I love this foundation so much. I have been wearing it like almost every single day since I've purchased it, and I just love it so very much. I took like a pump and a half and spread it out on the back of my hand. And then I'm just going to take my sponge and go in. If I can get this off my... I sprayed my sponge with some of my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. And then just go in. But I have been loving this so very much. It's so good. It's everything that I personally look for in a foundation. It just feels so lightweight on the skin. It's beautiful and glowy. I don't know, it just feels like you're not even wearing any foundation. Now with the amount I wear, it doesn't cover up like things on my skin or anything, but now you can go in with some more and build it up. I don't personally like to. I like to keep it more so like a pump, sometimes a pump and a half like I'm doing today. I actually feel like instead of a pump and a half, I think I might have went in with full 2 pumps. That's what it kind of looks like. Minus that second time when I meant to just do a half. I think I ended up doing a full, but either way, it's beautiful. I'm going to go in with my Kosas concealer. This one is in the shade 3. This is such a nice concealer. I am amazed at just how little it creases on my under eyes without me even setting it. Like, it still creases, of course, because I do have fine lines under my eyes, but it's very minimal compared to some concealers I've tried. Before I go in with any kind of powder, I do want to apply a liquid blush. This is from Cali Ray. This is their Blurry Blush, and this one is in the shade Zen. I believe this is the lightest shade. Also, I mentioned there might be something wrong with the stopper and the reason why it's glooping out. I saw another person on Instagram, they were showing this product, like the shade off and everything, and when they pulled theirs out, it was the same way, so I guess that's just how this comes, which is interesting. I'm just going to take a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm going to go in with my Refi brush. I love this brush so much. I'm going to apply it. I feel like this is a soft enough blush where it's not going to compete with this eye look. And me applying it with this Refi brush, that really helps to blend it out even further. That's one reason why I love this brush so much. I'm not going to be wearing a lot of blush today because of the eye look, because I still have blue shades to go in with, and you know what? I said I was going to wear them on the lower lash line. That probably wasn't the best idea, because blue on my lower lash line, I feel like that might look kind of like dark circles, but we'll see, we'll see. See, that's all I'm going to do. That's beautiful. These are really nice blushes from them, too. I'd like to look at some of the other shades, but I do love this one. I love just how soft this one is. Of course, I'm not applying much. I might have to go back in with a little bit of it after I set with powder. Just a touch, but keep it nice and soft. Just like that. See, that's so pretty, and oh, that's so pretty with this sweater. Like, okay, take away the eyes and look at that with the sweater. That's so pretty. Ooh, I love that blush. That's so pretty. Ooh. A good blush can just make my whole day. Now with powder, I'm going to use my CoverGirl Clean Fresh pressed powder. This one is in translucent, and I have extended the pan a little bit in this powder. This is such a good powder. Now I'm going to take that. I just found this little brush right here, if it'll focus for me, at Dollar Tree. I just thought it was cute with the little animal print. It's really soft. So there's no, like, I don't remember there being a name on it. I'm not sure. But I'm just going to take some of that and kind of just set. Usually I use like a little powder puff, but I just want to use this brush. I feel like it's a good size to get under your eyes and kind of around this part right here, and like not going so over the blush. Run that through the brows a little bit so I don't have shiny brows. You can still see that shine on the outside here. And then for bronzer, I'm going in with the Haus Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer, and this one is in Light Level 1. I'm going to take that on a Flawless Face Brush from e.l.f. Not going to take too much, just a little bit. Just to add a little something there, but not a lot. Now I'm just going to do my brows off camera. I'm going to use my NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen in Espresso, and then I'm still using my little Kosas. This is their Air Brow Gel. There's still some in there. I mean, after using it every day, it is still going strong. I'm just going to do that right quick off camera. and I'll come right back and we'll finish up the lower lash line, and then all I have to do is apply the lips and this look will be done. I'm going to take a very small amount of Cosmology, very little, because I don't want too much of that blue on my under eyes because it might make like I have dark circles because I'm trying to conceal any darkness I have here. So I'm going to keep this right along the lash line, and I'm going to go over it with that last shade, but I want to just put this shade down first, but we're keeping it right here. Okay, just like that. I'm not going to touch it right yet. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, just barely adding that blue right along the lash line. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Creation, and we're going to put that over the top of where I just traced along with that blue. Keeping it as close as I can because I don't want that blue to be too low. But that's me now. If you are following along and you want to recreate this look, change it up however you want. This is just how I would wear shades like this on my lower lash line because I don't want a lot of blue in this area. Okay, something kind of like that. Now this shade, it didn't pick this shade, but I just want to add a little extra. I'm going to go in with the shade Life, and I'm going to pop that right here. It didn't pick this shade, but I figured why not add a little pop of brightness right in here. Alright, and there are the eyes all done. And then I just want something very simple on the lips. I'm going to go in with my Tower 28 gloss. This one is in the shade Oat. You can see I have a pretty good use out of this one. This one is one of my favorites. I don't want a lot, just want a little something. And there we have this makeup look all done. So what do we think about this eye look? I will say at first I was a little iffy because I'm out of practice with looks like this. I don't wear makeup like this hardly ever, or eyeshadow like this I should say. I just don't, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I just love my neutrals so very much. I am a neutral person through and through. But I do like the idea of this video because it got me out of my comfort zone a little bit. It picked a palette that I probably would have not picked. And it picked shades that I probably would not have picked anyway. Because if someone asked me to use this palette, what shades would I probably use? Probably this shade, and maybe one of these. That would have been the shades I probably would have picked, but you know what? I'm glad that I did this, and I would love to do this again in the future as well. I wanted to pick out every single product in my makeup collection and just let it pick out my blush, let it pick out anything. Can you imagine if it had picked out like a very interesting shade of blush for this eye look? I couldn't imagine what that might have looked like, or the lip. But I think it would just be fun, and it's a creative, fun way to use what you have and just have a good time with your makeup collection. And who knows, maybe you have something in your makeup collection that you don't really wear that much anymore. This is a good way to use it because more than likely it's going to end up picking something like this, because I just knew before going into this, I said I have like 100 neutral palettes. It's going to find a colorful palette for me, and it absolutely did. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you are alerted to all my future uploads. Follow me on Instagram at jessicadeerly. All of these items will be listed and linked for you below. They are affiliate links, so if you click through and purchase, I do earn a small commission. And if you choose to do so, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!